Look at me, I'm pretty high tech right here. I'm getting it. Get rid of the glare over my shoulder. There we go. I know what I'm doing. Oh, look at that. I should have your job.
Yeah, well, let's not take it that far.
For those who don't know, Flint Rasmussen is the exclusive barrelman of the PBR. The former high school math and history teacher has been a staple in arenas around the country for more than 2 decades. No one does it better.
What else?
But like the rest of us, he too is trying to find ways to stay busy.
I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got a lot going on right now, right?
Yeah, I'm swamped. Yeah. Oh my God. So, Brandon, what is the name of this segment? It's a long name, right?
People zooming with people while stuck at home during a pandemic.
That'll never fit on a t-shirt. When my kids were little, there was this show called Zoom.
Come on and zoom.
And they go around and they say, "Hi, I'm Leah." And she'd do a real cool little dance.
I'm Bernadette.
And there was always that one kind of poor kid that you felt bad for because he couldn't dance at all. He's like the whitest kid there. And he can't do anything.
I'm Dee.
That's Scott Breen. That's Scott Breen. He's the kid in Zoom that can't dance at all. He's like, "Hey, I'm Scott." And he like tries to do like the and you're like, oh my God, poor little Scott. So,
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. Billings ribbon chop crowd shovels in.
What's your drink of choice during quarantine?
you know, it's funny because I just saw a meme, right? See, I'm 52. I just saw a meme and it's a little cartoon. And it's a cup of coffee splashing over the top. And it's like a relay. And the cup of coffee is handing the baton to a glass of red wine. That's my day. The black coffee to the red wine down the home stretch. What do you got?
Well, see, it's in here. And
you're kidding me.
I make a really, really good Manhattan.
Oh. Look at you. That is amazing, Frank.
What are you watching right now? Give us something good.
This week, the Bobcat Grizzly game from this past year replayed on Root Sports, and the Bobcats won again. Weird. So, yeah, so anyway, this is for my girls today for Bobcat Rodeo. So, yeah.
Last year, on Sunday after the show, I was out getting some last-minute shots, and I wanted to ask you if you remember seeing anything like this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to share this screen with you, okay? It's on my screen. Have you seen this?
Oh, wait a second. Let me see what happens. I think I heard about this. Oh wait, it's jumping around on me, but if I remember.
See, there he goes.
Get back.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. The way he went. That's you filming that?
Yeah.
Did you pee your pants a little bit?
No, there was a woman and her child right behind me on this gate, and so I had to tell him to get back, and then I pulled it closed. It dawned on me that I was trapped.
Well, yeah, but
look at this guy.
But you're good. They don't know how to open gates. Oh my God! Look at that. That's how you get them in. You lure them with they can smell your fear.
Yeah.
So there was a woman with a child. Well, from where you were filming, if that woman and child were probably braver than you because they had something to do. They were like a rider's wife or something, so they were fine. So
Yeah.
if you felt brave and felt like a man, good job, buddy. Nice work. But I remember I forget about that stuff, and I forget week to week on things that happen. But yeah, that's a good one. We had one in Little Rock, Arkansas a few weeks ago. That was the last event we did with the crowd. And a bull ran up the big ramp. Most of them dropped down, ran up the big ramp and got out and went out into the parking lot and turned around and came back. And the arena there is it's a nice big, 15,000 seat arena. But this, with all due respect, it's across the river in North Little Rock, Arkansas. And I said, my theory was the bull got out, ran up the ramp, looked at the neighborhood and said, I'm going back in. I'm safer inside. So,
Are you working on any new routines? I mean, I know you're always working on something.
I don't know if I'm necessarily working on new stuff or new routines, and I don't know if I necessarily had to. But I will say this, I will admit now, this winter I had gone about 13 weeks in a row of flying somewhere. I've been doing this for 20 some years, and I was feeling a little weary, a little burnt out, personal life a little burnt out, just kind of dragging and pouting about things. And I'll tell you, if there's a silver lining has come out of this, it maybe bought me another season of working. When I step back in that arena, man, I'm telling you, I just want people to know I will never take it for granted again. I'm excited now. And I still don't like it. This is hard on everybody and it sucks. And it sucks for everybody. We all have our opinions about it and the response and all of that. But all that aside, it stinks. You know that, man. It's throws
Yeah.
us off a routine. There was a few days where it was kind of like, hey, nobody can kick me off the couch. This is awesome. Well, guess what? 3 weeks into it, yeah, I'm ready to paint up, and I miss the music and the roar of the crowd and the riders and my family on the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're somewhat like me, and I mean, I'm a people person. I got to be around people, and I mean, as much as I love spending this much time at home and with my wife and the two dogs, I love being out and being around people and talking to people, and to me that's what it's all about.
You know what I've discovered, and this again is probably good for me because I have something I always say that I like being in front of crowds, but I don't like being in them. I don't know that I like being around having those idle conversations that don't mean anything. I like being around friends and things. But I do go here on the west side of Billings, out on the walking and running paths, and I talk to every damn person that comes. I talk to them. I talk to their dog. I'm learning all the dogs' names around here where I live. But I think that's not unusual. I'm just getting back. Honestly, I feel like I'm getting back to being me. That sounds maybe cliche and a little deeper than what people think, but I don't know. It feels good to wave to everybody on the street and say good morning to everybody, and everybody's friendly and everybody's got their kids out. That's good. But I'm good with it now. So let's go. Let's go back to work.
Yeah, let's get back to it, right?
Yeah. Talk to me. I don't know that people understand that don't do what guys like I do. There's an addiction a little bit to that sort of interaction and really making people feel good, making their day better. And when you're not doing that anymore, that's a hard adjustment. I've kind of eased it a little I've been doing some Facebook and Instagram live things with big numbers and get a lot of comments about people, hey, thanks for the laughs in this hard time. And that really does me good because when you do this for as long as I have, it isn't really like just going to work. You need that. Everybody in the entertainment business is so insecure that we don't know what to do with ourselves. And we just need a little of that once in a while. So
Pat on the back.
I'm finding some ways, but I get a lot of messages about, oh my God, we're so disappointed. Billings is canceled. Albuquerque's canceled. So am I. I mean, so are we. These places mean a lot to us.
Yeah. Hey, I always wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite, an all-time favorite rider?
All-time favorite rider?
Yeah.
You know what? I get asked, that's a big debate. Who's your Mount Rushmore of bull riders? And people name them. And all-time favorite rider, I will go in my career. The best bull rider I ever saw in my career live, and to this day, I don't think people realize a great guy would do anything for you, and now has become an incredible color commentator on TV, is Justin Mcbride. I don't think people realize when he was riding, I'd go in the airport and sit by him in the airport, and he'd have a book. He always had a book with him, and they were these 400-page, some deep novel. I'm reading this because he's very well read. Like, he's very smart and really would go out of his way. I could call him now and he'd answer his phone. I'd call him, but we're on my phone, so we're not going to. But he's that guy, and so I would have to go that. And we're still very good friends. So yeah, I'm go with Mcbride. There was probably more colorful characters out there in the PBR. A JB Mooney right now, Jess Lockwood. I don't think people in Montana know how great Jess Lockwood is, because I think we get critical in Montana of our own. I have bigger fans outside of Montana. Jess Lockwood's the same way. He is amazing. That guy, he's an athlete. He knows how to work out. He hates losing. And people forget he was a state champion wrestler. The true athletes, like the great wrestlers, are great in our sport because they know how to win. That's kind of the matchup they have. And I always give the advantage to cowboys who played other sports, actually. I'm a little biased that way, and Jess is one of those guys. Like me, right? Like, that's why I'm amazing, because I played for the Shoto Bulldogs. The older I get, the greater I used to be. Don't forget that.
I won't. And actually, I was going to say it, but I figured I'd let you say it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I just over the years, my favorite was just always is Guilherme Marchi, just because of his personality, the way that I loved the charisma that he came out there with, and being there for his 600th ride.
It was here, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was here. Yeah. Well, you are not wrong on that guy's charisma and personality. And I'll never forget at the World Finals when he retired, and I have a picture on my phone of him hugging me. He said, "I will miss you." And and I'll say this about him. Here's something unexpected people may not know. He went through some rough times in his personal life with his wife, and we were going through some things at the same time, and he would come into my locker room or catch me in the hallway at arenas, and he'd call me over and say, "How are things going?" And choppy English, but good English. "How are things going?" And he'd encourage me. "It will take some time, and you do that." He would sit down and visit with me, nothing to do with bull riding, just personal as a friend. And so that means a lot. That says a lot to me about a guy.
It's weird because, I've only had a couple brief conversations with him, but he seems so genuine. I mean, you could almost feel that without even talking to him.
Yeah. "Hey, buddy." Is that what he said? "Hey, buddy."
Yes.
Okay. So when Guilherme Marchi came from Brazil to the U.S., he spoke no English, and they all know how to say, "Hey, buddy." That's what they all know how to say that. So he had a dog, and his name was Buddy, because he could say, "Hey, buddy." That was it. So now he's good.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's true. That is a true story. I asked him one time, "What happened to Buddy?" "I still have Buddy."
Oh, that's great. That's a great story.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if
I miss shaking hands and I miss hugging people. I don't know how long it's been since I reached out and shook somebody's hand. You feel this respect. Do they want to be close, or do you? And I do. I miss my family. I've always said, with PBR, we're different than rodeos a little bit. We're like a concert tour, and I miss my family on the road, and I miss bellying up for a glass of Merlot next to somebody I don't know and shake their hands and tell them to have a good night. I miss being in the locker room. That I think that's what people again don't understand, is that I've gotten to basically play a sport until I'm 52 years old, and I miss the locker room and talking about our kids, and all the guys I'm with have families, and so yeah, I don't know if it's put it in a different perspective, but it sure made me miss some things that I took for granted and people I took for granted. I haven't seen my daughters in a while, and my parents are 82 years old up in Shoto, and I traveled a lot, and I'm about to go see them. I know I'm not supposed to. I'm sorry. Both my folks have had health problems, and I've been pretty isolated. And for Easter, maybe I'll go see my folks, but I haven't. I've done what I'm supposed to do and haven't driven to Shoto to see my parents. So, it's quiet. And I'm not used to things being so quiet. So I appreciate everybody, and all my friends now.
Yeah, we when we get back to things being somewhat normal, which normal will be a new normal, I think, but
Yeah.
it's definitely one of those things where, I mean, I miss my kids, man. I have 3 kids from a previous my first marriage, and they're kind of with their mom, and so I'm not really able to see them right now. And I'll tell you what, man, that's the hardest thing for me right now is missing my kids and not being able to hug them, not being able to just, even though they don't really want to talk much with dad. I mean, I'm not cool enough for them. So,
Yeah.
but
and on the business economy side of things, there's a difference between Applebee's opening up again and an arena opening up, letting 10,000 people come in and sit together. That's what concerns me. I've had some my brother Will is a great pro rodeo announcer, and he's canceled through the first part of June. And I'm doing some work for PBR to try to stay on the payroll. He's an independent contractor, so it's affecting a lot of people. The rodeo business, I know, in a lot of people's world, is the least of people's concerns, but I went to a lot of big rodeos, and where it's the biggest thing of the year, and it does affect towns and morale. So we do need to get back to it. Hopefully I'm confident something's going to happen, that it's going to be, oh, wait, we're good. So I don't know, send us all back. I think I had it already anyway. I went to New York City in January. 10 days later, I was so sick with a fever and a cough. So I'm good. I'm clean, man. I'm good. There you go.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah, good to hear I had the Rona.
Do-do-do-do-do.